So, Unit 4, Lesson 9, make sure your name is on the top of your paper. All right, when adding two numbers with the same signs, you add the digits and keep the sign. So just a quick review. All right, this is nice and easy. 33 plus 25. 3 plus 5, I'd get 8. 3 plus 2, I get 5. We should know that. It's the same rules. So then the same thing goes when I get to adding negatives. Okay, these are the same signs. So what do? Add and keep the sign. 6 plus 7, 13. 2 plus 1 is 4. Now that's not my answer, not 43. What would it really be? Negative 43. Sometimes we rush so fast to try to get the answer that we don't put those negative signs where they need to be. Okay. So let's look at the next part. Okay. When adding two numbers with different signs, we would subtract the digits and use the sign of the number farthest from 0. So we have 18 plus a negative 32. Adding and subtracting? Please always put the bigger number on top. I am not changing the rules that you've learned in 1st and 2nd grade. 18 should never go on top of that. Okay. So we have to make sure also we do our borrowing. Okay. We can't take 8 away from 2, so we got to borrow. That becomes 12 minus 8 to give me 4. 2 minus 1 to give me 1. Is this going to be a positive or a negative? Negative, because 32, that negative 32 is further from 0 than 18. That's example 3. Example 4, different signs we're going to subtract. Go ahead and put that 22 on top over the 19. I know I could probably do that in my head real quick. 12 minus 9 would give me 3, positive or negative? Negative 3, because that 22 is further from 0. Okay, so those are a review of our addition rules. Now let's look at the review of our subtraction rules that we learned yesterday. Okay, we have to write an equation problem using the opposite of the second number and making sure it's addition. Okay, so we have to rewrite everything or you're not going to get counted for it. So I keep that 15. I'm going to add. Now that is a positive 23 because that's a subtraction sign, not a negative sign. So the opposite of a positive 23 is a negative 23. So this is my new equation I should see. Now from here I go back to the addition rules that we've been working on. Same sign add, different sign subtract, and these are different, so I'm going to subtract. 23 minus 15. Some of these I know you can do in your head. I'm fine if you don't show all your work on that, but I have to see this equation. Okay. So 23 minus 15, but I would have to borrow again. 13 minus 5, I should get 8. Positive or negative? Negative 8 would be that final answer. That negative 23 is further from 0. Clearly show your sign, whether it's negative or not. If I have to judge it, it's just going to get counted wrong. All right, the next one, we have a negative 32 minus 14. Okay, so where it's taking away a positive, that number is going to go down, but let's rewrite our equation. I should have a negative 32 plus a negative 14 and start using parentheses. It helps keep things nice and clean. Okay, so now going back to my addition rules, same sign, add, different, subtract. These are the same, so we're going to add. 32 plus 14, 46. Is this going to be a positive or a negative? Negative, because both signs were negative, so that would be my final answer, negative 46. Also, circling answers, squaring them really help when I grade those papers so I can see which answer you want me to have. All right, and our final example for our subtracting on here, rewrite it as 63. That subtraction becomes a positive. That's a negative 12. The opposite of that would be a positive 12. This should be my equation. same signs, we would just add. 3 plus 2 is 5, 6 plus 1 is 7. And this would stay positive. Don't just go put a negative on there. Okay. If you've got all that, go ahead and flip your paper over so I know you're ready for the other side. So when I do so, we've got some fill in the blanks. All right. When adding two or more numbers with different signs, all subtraction signs need to be changed. All your subtraction signs will be changed. You know how we had keep, change, change? You're going to have keep, change, 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 change if it's subtraction. Only for subtraction. All addition signs are left alone. Leave them alone. We're not going to go change addition. We are only going to change subtraction. Okay, so if you see an addition sign, you shouldn't then go and change it to subtraction. No, no, no. Okay, keep addition alone. Change the subtraction. Okay. Then we are going to add what's alike. Okay, so if we've got multiple negatives, I'm going to add the negatives together. If we've got multiple positives, add those together. Okay, so that's your next fill in the blank. Add what is alike. Then we'll follow those normal addition of integers rules. Same sign, we what? Add and keep the sign. Anytime they're the same signs, you add and keep. Different sign, once again, subtract. I know you guys have heard this a lot. I'm just going to keep repeating it until it gets stuck in your head. Different signs, subtract, and keep the sign of number with the greatest absolute value. Let's get that word back in there. So there's your fill in the blanks. Same sign, add and keep the sign. Different sign, subtract, and keep the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value. That number furthest from 0 is the absolute value. So we're going to look at these examples. We are going to rewrite them. Do not start doing them in your head. We have to rewrite them. So here's our first example. We have 14 plus a negative 6 minus 2. So for me to rewrite it, I had on your directions is to leave addition alone. Leave it alone. I'm not going to change addition to subtraction. So that stays the same. Now that's a subtraction sign. So what do I do with that? I make that addition. That is a positive 2. So what's the opposite of that? A negative 2. So this is what my new equation should look like. Now, if I go back to the rules up here, I put that we change everything, right? And then we add what is alike. So what's alike in this problem? Very good. So we've got a negative 6 and a negative 2. So let's leave this 14 alone. Keep my addition sign. We have a negative 6 plus a negative 2. The rules of same signs is to add and keep the signs. So what's 6 plus 2? 8. You multiply, that's okay. 6 plus 2 is 8. Keep the negative sign. This will get confusing. You have some of these on your homework because you've got to make sure you're just breaking them down slowly. Now, I've got a simple back to my regular addition problem. We have 14 plus a negative 8. Different signs, what do? Subtract 14 minus 8. What do we get? 6. Is this going to be positive or negative? Positive. The 14's bigger. Clearly, and circle your answers, please. Or square them. Okay, the next one, we have 4 of them, and I don't see any addition signs, which means we have to create them. Okay, so our next example. Always keep the first sign. If you went and made that a positive 24, you are wrong. The next sign is a subtraction, so we're going to add. That is a positive 6. Even though that sign's right here, that's subtracting. It's not in parentheses either. So what's the opposite of a positive 6?
Negative 6.
Put that in parentheses, nice and clear. This sign is subtracting, so we need to make it adding. That is a positive 9. The opposite of that is a negative 9. Be careful here. Just because we've done the same thing doesn't mean we keep going that way. This is a subtraction sign. Make it addition. This is a negative 2, so we'll make it a positive 2. So make sure this is what your equation looks like. All addition signs, no subtracting. Yes, there's negatives. So let's go and combine what's alike. We have a negative 24, a negative 6, and a negative 9. Same signs, we can just add those, right? I can do in my head real quick 24 plus 6. What's 24 plus 6? 30. Then 30 plus that 9 is, but please remember, those were all negatives. I added the negatives, but I need to keep it a negative. So my new problem is negative 39, don't forget what's over here, plus 2. Different signs now, what do? Subtract. 39 minus 2 is 37. Will this be a positive or a negative? Negative, because the 39 is further from 0. Double check that you've got that. And thinking of those subtracting at the beginning, you keep moving down a number line, but it's that negative minus a negative can get tricky there. All right, let's look at the next one. We have 56 minus 34 plus a negative 10. Let's rewrite it. Leave 56 alone. That becomes an addition sign. That is a positive 34, so it needs to become a negative 34. And I know you're like, Miss McKinney, I can do 56 minus 34. That's fine, but we are working on creating new equations. And then we get to leave the next one. Don't change it. We get to leave it. Leave it alone. It's already addition. Don't touch it. Okay, now let's go and combine what is alike. And I see 34 and 10 are both negatives. So I'm going to leave 56 alone. Keep my addition sign. Combine that negative 34 and a negative 10. Well, what's 34 plus 10? Come on. 44. But it's going to be negative. Okay, so we took 34, added it to 10 to get 44, but keep it negative, please. Different signs, what do? Subtract 56 minus 44. 6 minus 4 is 2. 5 minus 4 is 1. So 12, will this be a positive or negative 12? Positive. 56 is further from 0 than negative 44. Try the last one on your own before I give you the answer. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it to see if you got that. This is what your equation should look like. So I kept the negative 12. I added the opposite of 45, which is a negative 45. I add the opposite of a 23, which is a negative 23. Leave the plus 6 alone. So let's combine what's alike. We see 3 negatives, so negative 12, negative 45, negative 23. Add those up. Let's go over here, sorry. 12, 45, and 23. 2 plus 5 plus 3 is 10. 1 plus 1, 2. 4, 6, 8. So we see 80, but that should be negative. Then I see the plus 6. That's not my final answer, right? So I need to make sure I go and now do what my addition rules are, is different signs subtract. So 80 minus 6. What do you guys get? 74. Is this a positive or a negative 74? Negative 74. Nice job. Okay, now we're going to head to our assignment.